Welcome back to the Right Hand Drive Guys podcast, the show for guys who like right hand drives. As always, I'm Bobby. This is Aaron.
Yo.
And this is episode 74. We're coming right around the corner. We'll be hitting 100 so soon.
So soon.
So, what we decided to do for episode 74 was take it back. We're going to take it back a little bit and just discuss some of the nostalgia because the culture is old enough at this point that we actually can have nostalgia, within especially 90s cars in that whole era. So we figured why not each of us just throw out a few things that maybe we miss about the golden days, the good old days, whatever you want to call them. So we're going to throw out, five each-ish. And at the end, we actually have some Q&A from a few people on Instagram that asked us some questions, and we figured why not address them on the air because potentially one of you guys is asking the same question.
Yeah, dude. Let's
Awesome.
get it.
So I'll start out. And so, again, we really didn't have a format on this. We weren't like it has to be these or this or from this time period. We just kind of spitballed what we missed. And so back in 2002, I had a 1997 Honda Accord.
Nice.
Single overhead cam slam.
Ripper.
Yes. And so I actually bought this 97 Accord, and I was like, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to do all these different things to it, right? I was so excited. Like we were about every vehicle we got back then, right?
Yeah. Didn't matter what it was.
Literally, dude, wasn't 2 weeks, crashed it. It's like dope.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay. Hey, my uncle was like a mechanic / body guy, and I'm like, yo, Uncle Mark, so check it out. I got a project. He's like, yeah, you do. And I was like, damn. So anyways, he was super cool. He let me bring it over. I had actually smashed in the pillar, smashed in the whole front, left side of the car, including the fender mounts, everything. Yeah. So we rebuilt the car, got a donor car, cut out the pillar, cut out, a bunch of stuff, replaced it. Painted the car at his house. We painted everything. We did it all. And so it came down to, at that point, I've blown my whole load. Yeah. I don't have any more money to put into the car. So the motor's staying the factory F-Series, whatever motor that came in those Accords. Yeah. And I needed to at least do the intake noise, right?
Dude, the intake noise.
Yeah, we were talking about this the other day.
That
NA Hondas, when you just put an intake on them, they just have this crazy.
Dude, doesn't matter
throaty.
what engine it is, dude.
Yeah.
You put that intake on it with that cone filter.
Yep.
You get that boop.
Exactly.
Boop.
So, because what I really wanted was a motor that I could put a turbo on, I got the Fooler Cooler. I got the Aero Speed front mount intake, dude. And
that's the one.
Yes, it really was. And we took our time. We mounted it perfectly. We kept the little plexiglass cover. I mean, it looked cool in pictures. Yeah. And on a nice dry day, it performed well. I mean, you're actually getting the coolest air you could probably get.
Right.
So, however, on those rainy days, that plexiglass was not really, avoiding any suction of moisture or water.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you'd be going and it you go through a puddle and it kind of cuts out and and you're like, oh shoot, guess I didn't dodge that one.
Yeah, that was always a big deal back in the day, is sucking up the water with your cold air intake.
Yeah, it really was. And so with those, and if you don't know what an Aerospeed front mount is and you're not watching on YouTube, definitely Google it. I mean, for the time, 2002, this thing was cool. Yeah. It was what it was for the budget. Right. But I definitely miss these things because I do felt like it just gave that I'm not saying it was dope by any means, but it just gave another flavor of a build. And you don't really see those as much. I never see those on cars anymore because I believe that they stopped production shortly after they started.
Yeah,
So it wasn't like a long run thing.
Right. I've seen them pop up on the groups and stuff. People looking for them and people selling them, and it's like, whoa, those are fetching that price.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, especially the ones that still have the plexiglass cover with the arrow speed on it and stuff. Right. Yeah. So my number one is the Aerospeed FMI, front mount intake.
Front mount intake.
Yes, absolutely. Nice. What do you got,
dude? So my first one is I want to bring back like simpler times of drifting with simpler cars. You know, when the S chassis were still relatively new.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could go. You would see the videos on the internet of like people just sliding these around in Japan. Simple cars. They just have the basic SR, you know, basic upgrades, and they're sliding them around everywhere, and they're having a blast. I feel like nowadays people try to overcomplicate things and try to build these crazy cars, kind of overbuild cars for...
Yeah, like everything's got to have 600 to 800 horsepower. And
Right. And like all this crazy list of things, but like, do you really need that?
Yeah, like bring back that, like, not to say slow, but like slow drifting.
Right.
Because that's how a lot of these guys that are now pros even learned.
Right.
Was the slow drifting.
Yeah, and without like these crazy knuckle kits and like...
Right, yeah,
it's just basic, welded knuckles, if anything.
Yeah.
But, seeing the videos back in the day, when you would download them on LimeWire, Kazaa, whatever it might be.
Yeah, Kazaa. Yeah, for sure.
That's all it would be. It would be like just these basic cars. And then every once in a while you'd come across that option video and they were out street drifting somewhere in Yokohama. And they had these crazy, JZXs or, whatever it might be, like crazy built-out cars.
Those were always drifting. Sick, those videos.
Most of the time, it was just these dudes in these like pretty basic setup cars, and I always thought that was cool, and I think that needs to come back.
Yeah, the simplified drifting to where the barrier to entry is low, and you can get in with that, somewhat stock car. Right. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, yeah, it's hard because it's kind of like one of those things. Like just because it's available to you doesn't mean like. Humans tend, if it's available to us, we tend to gobble it right up and run with it.
Or want it.
Yeah, or want it. When we could have maybe, in this instance, stuck to that low power, slow drifting, people would have been able to get in and learn a lot more people. Maybe it wouldn't have shut so many people out. And maybe it wouldn't have declined to a point,
Right, for sure. And just having that pressure of thinking you need to build this crazy car, like most people probably cannot financially, like... do that as well as enjoy it and as well as make it to events. Like that's all pretty expensive stuff all along. I mean, if you try to do all three, like it's like, holy cow, dude.
Yeah.
You'll tax yourself.
You really are. And that's probably is what happened. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. Bring back like the simpler drifting times so that, people like you or I can get into it and not have to like, have a Daigo Saito car that just like blows smoke off the tires is
right. I mean, going to Ebisu and at Matsuri, like that's basically kind of like whatever,
like the
more
night
basic.
Time,
like they got coilovers, they got body kits, they look cool or whatever, but pretty much stock engine and just ripping.
Right. Yeah.
It's about
you can
time.
tell. Yeah, they're not blowing smoke the entire length of the track. They're like getting some on the corners and then like trying to get some on the straights. I agree. So for my number 2 is I'd like to bring back Honda tuning. I loved Honda tuning. I had 2 features. They were both like kind of like side small features in Honda tuning, and I always looked forward to this magazine coming out. It was one that like when you're in the Honda scene, like these dudes that are running Honda tuning are actually Honda dudes. So you're actually conversing with them on Honda Tech, NWP, like these dudes are actually in it. And that was something I always enjoyed about that was they got a lot of those features that like would have been overlooked by, kind of like S3 in the sense of they would get these features that generally would be overlooked by your import tuner or your Super Street or whatever. So that was something I really enjoyed. I remember the day when the last one got put out, and like it was this big thing in the Honda community. And you know, I know that we got like Instagram accounts left and right, and we got, you know, all of these kind of websites and whatnot. But like,
there's something different around
yeah,
print.
yeah. You would like, there's for sure something to be said about like that actual printed magazine, and it is becoming like a lost like thing, especially within the car culture. You know, those car magazines, dude. That's like what we grew up on. That's what we cut the cars out of and pasted on whatever, or, you know, rip the whole page out and posted it, you know, had the chick's booty on the wall, and mom comes in and says, take that down. And you're like, no, mom, it's about the car. Check out that Civic way back there. Yeah, no, for sure. Like, I feel like that's a physical thing that we've lost to an extent. And so if we could bring Honda tuning back and get Rod Rez in there and get Aaron writing, the dude that ran, his name was Aaron, get them writing articles again, like I think we could see some real nostalgia.
Well, dude, you know,
point.
in Japan, like they still have print.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Their magazines are crazy.
Yeah, they
like,
still have like a huge section of car stuff.
Yeah, like,
and I mean, I'm sure some have gone out. Right?
And like even in the convenies, like even in the 7-Elevens and stuff, you would go in and whatever, you would see a random option magazine or whatever truck magazine, like. Yeah, it's still like bumping there.
Down and to the left of the porn. I remember it exactly. But yeah, no, I agree. Like they're keeping it real, but they generally do, and that's part of the problem with America being such a progressive, like new, more. Is like I feel like there's only like you could say bandwidth for so much, right?
Right.
So when we need that new, something falls off the back end, and this is one of those things, right?
Yeah.
So. All right, what do you got? What's number 2?
Oh, man, I really wish we could get some Fast and Furious movies with some actual cool cars. I know that's never going to happen again. Like,
you're calling out, dude, you're calling out Vinny like that?
Hey, you know.
Hey, you know Vinny listens to the podcast, dude. He's going to take this to heart, dude.
Listen, Vin. Like,
we need some real cars. We need some cars that are actually drifting because they're drift cars and not just, you know, Dodge Chargers.
Dude, it sucks because like back in the day, like whenever those Fast and Furious movies came out, there was a lot of like, I don't know, that became like the rice. Like the rice cars, right?
Yeah.
And like no one was really into that a few years after that came out, and it kind of got like
because of the graphics and the body kits,
yeah, and like no one was really into that. But like looking back, man, that was so much better than what they are now. Like, what we have now, and like it's so far.
We were like, oh, why are they, you know, whatever, ricing these cars out and putting green underglow and
right. What was the floorboard falling out and the green washers going like that? Yeah, that stuff is goofy, but. Man,
I'd take that back over the submarine popping up out of the water and eating people and whatever the hell is going on.
The one-of-one supercar jumping out of the skyscraper, like
landing in the next one. Yeah,
like what is going on?
Yeah,
here? Like,
I mean,
that is just so far removed from where it started, and that just sucks.
And well, here's the thing: is because you know the original movie. The original movie was not even supposed to be like that. Right. It got like morphed into that. And then they gained that loyal following because of what it morphed into. But then after number 3, their audience got so wide that their audience doesn't even like their main audience isn't even about the cars.
Right.
They could care less that it's a you know, whatever these cars are, it's the action and it's the nonstop, you know.
It's Tyrese.
Right, it's Tyrese. And so, yeah, I agree. What they really need to do is make a movie for us. Who cares? Right. Don't even bring those cars back into the Fast and Furious franchise. Fuck, screw that. Like, just make a movie for us that actually is, you know, maybe, because you know how, like, they would do, you know, movies that are set back in time, right? Like Westerns and all these things. Yeah. Dude, do a movie set back in 1995 or 2001, and like
I'm surprised someone hasn't.
Give us that. Give us like low key Japan skylines, you know, whatever, right? Like I would be down. I would watch that even if it was just subtitles. I don't even give a shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if something like that didn't come out in the next few years.
Right.
It was like a movie. based in
based
that
back
time,
then. Yeah.
back then, and like that culture, and like trying to bring that back because it is kind of
Beyond
coming
like
back, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Well, beyond like and then the initial D thing, right?
right.
Because that's kind of how that'll be, but like more I would rather see a movie like about the culture evolving
Yeah.
through that, and with the release of some of these cars like the Supra, the RX-7, the Scott.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyways, I agree. Give us something, dude, because
Give
I'm
us
tired
something.
of watching that crazy
And
stuff.
dude, with as much people that are into it, and as like hardcore as some of these collectors are about like the movie cars and stuff like
Oh,
that,
dude, yeah.
dude, like
They could just redo the movie.
they could put something together. If all these
Yeah.
people collecting all these crazy cars, like all over the world, if they just, it's like, hey, maybe we should do something with this.
Do something, but then
Like
yeah,
it would
that
probably
be
be
tough.
crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's obviously tough because
Then
it
they
is-
crash
these
their
people
car.
are all over the
Yeah,
world. Like
yeah.
it is a world renowned thing. So.
So okay, my number 3, what we should bring back, and so this one's not necessarily a what we should bring back. It's just one of those nostalgic things that started. It started like a whole thing. Give me a 4-pack of tire flies, dude, and that will be good. Throw me a pack of tire flies, dude.
With the matching LED like washer nozzles.
Yes, exactly. Yes,
dude.
the snake eyes. Yes, dude.
Yeah,
Give me the fucking dude. That's
it
what
can't
I'm
be
saying.
blue or red though. You'll get in trouble.
Yeah, you
because
will.
That's against the law.
We do green, dude. So this was very early in like the vehicle lighting
yeah.
thing, and so if you don't know what a tire fly was, basically it was a valve stem cover that had one of those little, I don't know even what kind of batteries they are, but the super tiny batteries.
Yeah,
and
like
a
watch
light.
batteries,
Yeah,
pretty much.
and a light on the tip, and so it would activate when it sensed motion,
Right.
the rotation of the wheel.
Yeah.
So, dude, Saturday night about 9:30, ripping up Weston Ave, dude, and I got my friggin' tire flies ripping,
Yes.
dude. Nothing looks better than that. With, like you said, the snake eyes on the hood.
Yes,
Like,
dude.
Tell me in 2001, 2002 that there was anything better.
What song are you
than
playing?
that.
What song are you playing?
Roll out. Dun, 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 roll out. You know what I'm
Nice, dude.
saying,
Got that
dude?
Luda.
Yeah, hell
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
dude. Rolling downtown in front of the billiard spot, dude.
No.
Yeah,
God,
so,
dude.
I mean, it's not like a bring it back like I'd rip these on my vehicle today. It's more like these were one of those things that helped shape where everything went, right?
These are like LEDs 1.0.
Right, yeah, literally
Like-
1.0 and so yeah, underglow was already a thing, but like this like accessorized that to the point where more people were doing this, because you could get tire flies at Walmart, you could get tire flies pretty much everywhere. So yeah, I say whatever.
Oh, dude, don't forget the blackout on the tail lights and the headlights.
Oh yeah,
dude, the
and
headlight
the headlights,
covers.
yeah.
Dude.
And then you got to get the fog lights because your headlights aren't bright. So
Wow,
that, yeah,
dude.
yeah. Bring me a number. What do you got for number 3?
All right, I'm trying to bring back chill car meets too. Just chill car
Okay,
meets.
so
dude.
you're
Like,
going for heavy for like events,
dude,
like so to speak, like experience.
yeah.
Bring back these experiences.
Maybe this
That's
is me just
your-
getting old, dude. Like,
yeah.
But bring back these chill car meets where people aren't trying to rip donuts and like do burnouts and like take over
Yeah.
activities and just
And yeah, I agree. And the problem with that is is that everything's always awesome when it's new, no matter what it is. No matter what it is. Like, I mean, this garage was awesome when it was brand spanking new, right? Not to say it's not awesome now, but now it's the garage. You know what I'm saying? So like, I feel like part of the problem with these type of things is like when it's new, like people are the most genuinely excited about it, right? You go to your first car meet, you go to your 5th car meet, you're genuinely excited. When you go to your 57th car meet, dude, that's when you actually have already stopped going because like you've like been there, done that, right?
Right.
So then you get these younger people that get bored even faster. After their 3rd car meet, they're doing takeovers.
What do you mean after 5 minutes of their first time?
Yes, like, and so I feel like it becomes more of a problem because people want more excitement, more action. Like the days of just admiring the cars. Sure, me and you could go to one and we could do that.
Yeah.
But if it was filled with those kids with the takeover type things,
Yeah, dude.
we wouldn't.
Nah.
So yeah, no, I agree. Bring back, that would be cool to bring back the chill meets
Yeah.
where everyone was chill and really just wanted to see the cars. That was it.
Right.
Like, you know, there didn't really need to be much else. So
Yeah.
I agree. I feel like if you could bring back the chill meets, you would bring back like a more copacetic, like car culture and
Yeah,
less division, because that's how it was. But, you know, back at the beginning, there was so few people with cars. Everyone was at the meet with whatever cars, and it was
Right.
all cool. It was
Yeah.
actually cool to see cars that weren't the same as yours,
Yeah, yeah.
you know? So I agree, man. It's hard. You start thinking about these things, and it's easy to be like, oh, damn, like, how did we get here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the stuff I see online, because obviously I don't go to a ton of meets or nothing, but from what I see online, I'm like, holy moly, dude, what are they doing?
What are they
out
doing?
there? But hey,
Yeah, that's why you're not there.
I'm just getting old, right?
Yeah. And yeah, that's what's hard is because it is the older people, let's just say, that you would have a meet with and everybody be pretty chill because like nobody really comes out. But like some older people, right, have had to get rid of their vehicles. Some of the people that were there at the beginning had kids, they couldn't keep their car. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like it's kind of dissipated.
Right.
And so you almost have to hang out with those younger people. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all right. Speaking of, like, yo, like, hook me up Saturday mornings. I don't give a shit. I want no P Tuner Vision back. Like, I'll block out my schedule.
Bring back those two twins.
Yes.
Like
Yeah. The chicks, right?
no, the dudes.
Oh, the
There's
dudes.
the two hosts.
Oh, right.
I forget
twins.
their names, but I'm pretty sure they were twins.
Yeah, and they hosted it. And so if you never saw No P Tuner Vision, I mean, it was mainly like event recaps.
Yeah.
For
Of
the
the
most part.
Nopi events.
Of the
Yeah,
Nopi
yeah, yeah.
events, you know? And so what I enjoyed about this was being from up here in Maine. It was like a struggle because, you know, yeah, you could go to Boston and like Hut Import Nights was there, right? Like we only got like one Nopi event up here at the very end before they like petered out. So
yeah.
like for me, Nopi Tuner Vision was my gateway into like what the rest of the culture and community was doing
Yeah.
before I had been able to travel outside of Maine to experience it, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like this was like my, okay, this is what they're rocking. This is the size wheels or the wheels that they're doing, you know, and so I could really get that inspiration. So Nopi Tuner Vision really, really stuck out, like, because it came out in my senior year when I had my Cavalier.
Oh.
Yeah,
hell
I had the Cavi, baby, and so, you know, I was obviously pumped, even though, I mean, yeah, they were showing Cavaliers on there
Yeah.
with the park bench rear bumper
For sure,
and like
yeah.
you know all that stuff, and so yeah, I that really sticks out to me as something like get me back, like, yo, like these YouTubers are cool and stuff, but like get me back like my Nopi Tuner Vision Saturday mornings.
Yeah, dude, with the bikini contest.
Yes, absolutely. In the wet tea. Yeah, dude. Yeah. It was some good stuff. And so if I could, I would bring that back. Some sort of TV show that's actually about the culture. And I get it. We got YouTube. We got YouTubers.
Yeah. But it's not the same.
It's not the same, especially because there's 50,000 YouTubers.
Right.
So, like, there might be one that's close to the same as Nopi Tuner Vision, but I can't find it.
Right.
Because there's so many of them. Just put me on Power Block TV Saturday morning. Sit me in front of the TV,
Yes.
dude. I'll be good. 4 hours. Come back and get me.
Dude, what's kind of funny you say that is you talk about YouTube and you talk about Power Block. One of the dudes on there, on one of the shows, I think it was like Horsepower TV or whatever.
Yeah.
His name was Stacy David.
Yeah.
And he lived in Franklin. But anyway, randomly popped up on my YouTube the other day. After watching like an LZ video or something, it just automatically selects this old dude's channel. And he's like converted into a YouTuber now
Wow.
and has like a YouTube show. So it's just funny you say that because that's like, that is what they're doing now. It's all on YouTube. You just have to like,
You have to.
you have
find
to
it.
find the niche, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, well, you know that those were all filmed in
Yeah.
Nashville or
Right.
outside of Nashville. Yeah. So okay, what do you got? Number 4.
All right, number 4. We don't have to go too far back for this one, but Jesus, man, I want pre-COVID pricing on JDM cars.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
Don't
come
we all?
on, dude.
We at least
were talking
wanted
about this the
a
other day.
crystal ball for before. Yeah, damn, dude.
Insane. Not even that long ago.
I
Like,
know.
Not
And
even that long ago.
it's stupid. COVID changed everything,
Yeah.
literally, in ways we never expected.
Pretty much 2019 and before, that was the time to buy pretty much
Like,
any car,
yeah.
especially looking at today's prices.
2015, 2013 was really the time to buy.
Yeah.
So bring back pre-COVID pricing on our favorite shit, please.
Yeah.
Hey, who's got the button? Hit it.
And
'cause-
shipping, like I feel like shipping was another thing that just skyrocketed in price at that time and never returned.
yeah.
You know?
Right, yeah, they said it would, and
Yeah.
then it did not.
Never did. And
Yeah.
it's just like, holy
Same with everything,
man.
pretty much.
I wish we talked about this the other day, and yeah, I kick myself every time looking at R32 GTSTs for under 10K and being like, oh, yeah, I'll get one in a few months.
I'll wait.
I'll wait it out. Yeah, those
For
are
what?
dime a dozen, right? They're going to be all over the place for that price forever.
Yeah, I remember when the 32s became legal and you could get them for 20K all day.
Yeah,
The GTRs.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you
like-
could get like mint low mileage, like mint 40K.
Yeah.
Like I remember there was a dude in Nashville had one at, I believe it only had 30,000, I think, on it.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
You get 400 Rs for like 60, 70.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Insane.
Man, to have only known. So, yeah, I agree. Let's bring those prices back and get a couple
Everything.
more GTRs.
Jesus.
All right, so my last one is bring back password JDM. And so, like, we didn't really talk about many brands here.
Yeah.
Back, like, 2007 to 2010, I was pretty heavily involved with password JDM. They were, like, the, like, front runner in, like, carbon parts for Civics and Hondas.
Yeah,
and
they were pushing the
Acuras.
dry carbon.
Yeah.
Like they were the ones that kind of tried to put that on and
It was just
explain
too
the
early.
difference. Yeah.
Yeah, they were just a little too early for the market, but they did a lot of stuff. They sponsored
Yeah.
me with my EK9, and their most famous part, like that's been ripped off so many times and probably helped put them out of business, the whale penis.
Yeah.
The whale penis intake. They were the ones who designed that like fat plenum like
Yeah.
intake where you get the most volume of air moving through it.
Yeah. Sounded crazy.
Yeah, it was super deep and like
And
yeah,
it looked cool. It like filled the space
it
perfectly
filled
on those
it.
B
Yep.
series.
And they
like,
had those carbon Kevlar versions
Yeah.
that looked awesome. And then they also, Frank, not trying to piss you off, sorry, but they also helped originate the fender washers.
oh yeah.
They
yeah.
were the ones that like really came out with
the
those.
dress up bolts.
Yep, exactly.
And yeah, you can get metal front fenders and all that from them back in the day, couldn't you?
yeah, you could get all.
Like,
it was like
New.
yeah, it was kind of like a yeah. They did their own stuff, but they had a lot of the OEM parts and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
Did a lot.
yeah, I really enjoyed them. You know, they made Nabori flags. They made a bunch of stuff, and
Yeah.
I don't know at what point this happened because I kind of thought that they were a little bigger than that, but at one point they've gone out of business, and it seems like they, or at least those parts, were bought out by another company
Yeah.
who now lists them on their website. Still having the password JDM logo and name, but like
Yeah.
that's it. That's all we could really find. And so I'm not quite sure what happened because like back in the day they had like a sick S2000, a sick
Yeah, yeah.
fit demo car. Like they had a lot of different cool cars, and I don't know if it was maybe COVID or those years leading up to
Yeah.
it where there was like a stall in some of this
Right.
because we did have like a heavy stall in like the culture market,
Right.
you
But
know.
I feel like when there was that like stall, I mean, they did pick up on other things. Like they like the Honda Ruckus scooters. Like
Oh,
they
yeah, that's
made all
right.
kinds of stuff for them.
Yeah, they
like
did.
insane amounts of stuff. Like I can't even go through. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're the ones kind of responsible for like the 150 swaps on those, which was like kind of a big deal. And
Mhm.
I mean, they kind of made the market. They kind of made those cool. I feel like they were one of the companies in America, at least, that were making the parts and actually like making those cool and desirable.
Yeah, maybe they were just a little ahead of their time and their investments. Who knows? Because you don't really know. You can look at any company and you have no idea what the guy's doing that's running it and what decisions he's making. So, all right. So, for time's sake, that's going to complete up our nostalgia section of episode 74. However, you know, for shits and giggles, you could say, I threw up on the Instagram.
You threw up?
I was like, whoa! I threw up all over it. And so I was like, hey, if you got any questions, we want to do a Q&A section of the next episode. And, you know, I chose 4 of them that I thought were decent and, you know, hadn't been overly covered here.
Yeah.
And so this one is more of like a refresher. And so this is from Hayes_co_detailing. He asks, what did the process look like for importing your JDM cars? And any advice for buying JDM? So what did the process look like? Well, when I imported the 34 GTT, you can definitely go back on some of our episodes, and I'll give you a very detailed account of how everything worked. But to break it down in the shortest way possible right now, basically I found myself an exporter over there who was Trevor King from Kizo, who we did an episode with. Listen to it if you haven't. And I told him what I wanted. He found some cars. I told him if I was interested in inspecting them. First one I inspected was a no-go. Second one I had inspected, Nippon Nick did it, and it was an insanely mint car.
Fucking sucks.
It was fucking sex, mate. And it only had 30,000 miles. Or no, 30,000 kilometers, 22,000 miles. So I got the creme de la creme. That wouldn't have happened if I had bought 15 more cars. I wouldn't have gotten one that clean.
Right.
Just not going to happen. So anyways, wasn't federally legal yet. Had to wait till it hit 25 years old. That was April of 2023. It was a 98 car. And at that point, Trevor pulls it out of stacked, cleans it up for shipping. He gets it to port, goes into port. At this point, I've talked to a broker. The broker has now arranged the shipment for arrival. The broker also gets it released from customs. So at this point, you know, I've paid for shipping. I've paid for a broker. So now I need to go down and claim this from port. Yeah. Him and I went down, drove down however many hours to New York.
That's 6.
Yeah, 6 hours. We get razzed by the security guy.
Yeah, we did.
Aaron can't go in. I can go in, but I need a jumper pack because, like a fool, I didn't think, oh, this battery's going to be dead from sitting on a boat for 2 months, but it was. And so, yeah, we basically claimed it for port, got it back up here. And then, you know, the whole registration process depends on state and whatnot. But, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the process. It's not, like, super hard. There's just some paperwork and like a few different people to pay and like but overall I think it's pretty simple.
Yeah, people do it every day.
Yeah, I mean especially since I did it, it's gotten way more common. So yeah, I mean again, read that episode if you want to know more detail.
Yeah, I think it's in the 30s.
In the 30s somewhere. All right, so the next question. This is a tough one.
Is it?
It's from Uralski, URALSKIY_vlogs. Uralski vlogs. So he wants to know, when's the best time to buy an R34 GTR? Well, if you just rewind this podcast about 7 minutes, you will find it was before 2019, my friend.
Definitely that. 15 years ago?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the best time to buy an R34 was probably in 2008.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, without a time machine, now.
Like, yeah, without a time machine, every minute you see click on this clock, the minute before it was the best time.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you'll get these guys that are like, oh, the market's gonna, whatever. And
It's gonna correct soon enough.
yeah, and no, boys, like the demand is there, the supply is not. It doesn't matter when we get to 2027 or whatever, the 2000 or 2026 when the 2001s are coming
Right.
in. That was our supply. Now the supply dwindles for quality.
Yeah.
There's still 34s at this point,
Yeah.
but they're all fucked.
Yeah.
They're all fucked.
Yeah,
So
and they're already prone.
Yeah.
So just
yeah,
know that.
you do your research, but so realistically, why I said 2008 was because the car was stopped production 2001, right? So now it's like hot, kind of like over there, right? So by the time you get to 2008, this is right as the 35 is coming out.
Yeah.
I think that's when they probably got their lowest.
I
So
would
if
think
you
so,
were
if I had to
around
guess.
there, right, at some point there, and you like some of these boys got a hella good deal.
Yeah.
Like I know some boys that got deals that you're like, dude, show me a receipt because that sounds like a lie.
Right.
But they were in 15 years ago
right.
buying
they,
their
they
34s.
got yeah. They got
They had that dream and they hyper focused on it, whereas maybe other guys like me had that dream, didn't see how it could be obtainable back then.
Yeah.
Like there's no way I can buy this car, have it sit around for friggin' 16 years,
yeah.
and then have it come over.
Still have it like
Yes.
a deal.
Yeah,
It's
still a
insane.
deal after storing it for 16 years. So, yeah, to answer your question, buddy, just buy one
As
now
soon
or
as you
don't
can,
bother.
as
pretty
soon as you
much.
can.
Because, right, as soon as they get here, they're going to be more expensive.
Yep.
I mean, what I paid for mine isn't what I would sell it once it was here.
Right.
I mean, so, all right, next one up is from Race Car Brett, and it's race_car_Brett.
Race car Brett.
Race Car Brett, buddy. So he wants to know how to drive in Japan. Break it down for us. Heard it's a bit different. What would you say?
It can be challenging on some of these back roads and stuff. I mean, the main thing is just pay attention and just do a little bit of due diligence and get on YouTube and just type in basic signs in Japan, like traffic signs and like just basic traffic laws, just so you're not totally going in there blind.
Yeah.
But an easy 5 or 10 minutes on YouTube will go a long way. I mean, I'm pretty sure we did that
That's
on our
what we
first
did.
one, yeah. And we figured out, like, oh, okay, yeah, those are stop signs we've been running.
Yes, literally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or
Right.
those
Oh,
are
shit, they're
one-ways.
triangle? Why the hell are they triangle?
Yeah, like, what the hell? Oh, okay, that's why they were looking at us funny.
Yes.
Um,
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, just doing that and then just, being super mindful and super careful while you're over is my big things. And if you're in a big car, there's going to be some small streets.
Yeah, I mean, so I think I've driven like 8,000 kilometers in Japan. Yeah. So decent. I don't find it incredibly challenging. What I find is, like Aaron said, if you don't do your due diligence and figure out what you're going up against, you can easily overlook things that will affect you. Like, yeah, don't always follow the GPS. Use your common sense. Like,
Yeah.
because your GPS in Japan, yes, it's working, but like it tells you to turn left and go down this street, and then you see the big X, the blue X saying no,
Yeah.
and you keep driving because you think the GPS knows more than the signs, you're gonna be in trouble. Trust me. Like, literally, trust me.
Did
I
you get in
did it.
trouble?
Yes, I did it, and I was like, oh no, the GPS must know I'm trying to get to a 7-Eleven, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
desperately trying to get to a
course.
7-Eleven. I can see it, and that's probably what made me say fuck it. I just like went down. It's a one-way, dude. It's a one-way. The train comes, right? So now I'm stopped in the one-way, which is fine. I'm the only one. Oh, but when the train goes by, dude, it's packed, loaded, dude. Cars, bikes, people.
no.
So as soon as that thing comes up, dude, the cars are honking at me, the bikes are going around each side of me, like, and I'm just stopped in the middle of a single one-way street, and I'm hating myself because I'm like, dude, I knew better than this. I knew I couldn't go this way. I ignored the sign. I tried to be an American and just follow my GPS. and now I'm in this situation. Okay, real quick. Oh, if it wasn't embarrassing enough doing that, now I'm having to turn around in a one-way single street, dude.
Yeah.
And dude, my rear spat, I just run it right up onto a curb, dude, and just rip the whole, skin the whole bottom of it, dude. So now not only was I embarrassed, now my car's hurt, and I'm friggin' pissed, dude.
Yeah.
Last time I ever went down the road one way, dude. Last time.
Last time.
But, yeah, I think, my suggestion, Brett, is just do your due diligence, like he said. That is the biggest thing, because otherwise you can kind of go with the flow, right? They still got the arrows still look like ours, like the lights are still green, like it's all good. Just be polite, and if you fuck up, it's your fault.
Yeah,
it's not anyone else's fault.
Take your time,
Yeah,
like just take your time. If you miss an exit, there'll be another one.
Yeah, there will be.
It might cost you $15-$20 in tolls to get back to it, but hey,
you're
going to get to where you're going.
You might go broke, but...
Yeah, and I mean, enjoy the sights. You're in Japan.
Take it easy.
Love it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we're getting a little low on time. We got a fourth and final question.
Yeah.
This is from the homie Jay Zillaw. And
Jay,
the homie Jay, we actually hung out with him on our last trip to Japan, and we got to meet him.
Good
dude. Yeah, he is a good dude. And I know that this question is him being a smart ass, but I'll still ask it so I can explain in case we got any other smart asses out there. He says, how can you like the FL5 if it's LHD, left-hand drive?
What a hater.
I know. Listen, Jay, I can like it because I can't currently import this car in right-hand drive, and so therefore left-hand drive is acceptable. Would I prefer it to be right-hand drive? Yeah, dude. Yeah. Of course. That would be sick to have a 2023 right-hand drive here. But so this is the exception, all right? You're not going to find me, unless it's a 35 GTR, you're not going to find me with another left-hand drive car in this garage. But again, I am going after the EK9 Civic Type R, so having the FL5, whether it's left-hand drive or not, still completes. Refer to last episode if you got any questions about that. But yeah, Jay, we appreciate your inquiry there.
Yeah.
But it still deserves its love, whether it's left-hand drive or not. It's still a great car. So all right, guys. Yeah. Hit us in the DMs with any questions like this for sure. We'd love to bring them on air and just kind of answer them for everybody. Hit us up for some merch on the website, rhdguis.com. We got a killer promo called New Shit.
New shit,
and that'll save you 30% on the whole website.
Damn,
30%.
Hit that.
Yeah, so use the code New Shit on the website. Follow us on the socials, as always, at rhdguis.com. And for episode 74, the nostalgia and the Q&A, I'm Bobby. This is Aaron.
See ya.
Peace.